coming. We're having a little talk today on how to pack a healthy lunch, but in particular, how to pack a healthy lunch on a budget. That's like the number one question I get from a lot of people is that it's too expensive to eat healthy. Well, I'm going to show you that it's a lot cheaper to eat healthy and to pack your lunch than it is to eat out at places that will remain unnamed, right down the street on the corner. Okay, so first of all, how many in here pack your lunch every day? Anybody? Anybody? Yeah? Nobody? Okay. Maybe after this we'll have more takers on packing their lunch. So we're going to review just a little bit. If I get, yeah, it takes a little while. We talked about your metabolism, what makes up your metabolism, what slows down your metabolism, what speeds it up. A lot of people come to me and say, I'm eating the same thing I ate when I was 30 years old. Now I'm 50 and I've gained 10 pounds. I'm not doing anything different. Yep, that's probably true because each decade your metabolism slows down by 2% unless you're doing things to speed it up. We talked about that in the last talk. Factors that affect your metabolism are over here on the left. We won't go over all those. Factors that slow it down. What we're really going to hone in on today are inconsistent meal times. Okay, that means you eat breakfast and you may not eat again until 10 o'clock at night, or you don't eat breakfast and you maybe eat an apple for lunch or a candy bar and then you eat dinner. So that's called inconsistent meal times, and that really plays havoc with your metabolism and really can slow down your metabolism because your body is conserving. So if it knows you're not going to feed it, what does it do? Your body, it starts slowing everything down. It slows down your heart rate, your brain, everything starts to slow, brings in a little bit of, maybe you feel a little bit fatigued or a little bit lethargic because it's slowing you down because it's conserving your energy. You won't have as much energy. Not literally slow your heart rate down, but slow the system down so it conserves energy. So you won't have as much energy, not think as clearly. So we want to be consistent with, very consistent with our meal times. Inconsistent meal times, this is has a little trouble every now and then. There we go. This takes it a while. When your meals aren't regularly spaced, then your calorie burn is not as high as it would be. You know, it takes calories to burn food that you eat. So digestion takes calories. If you're skipping a lot of meals, your calorie burn is reduced and more of the food is stored as fat, all right, or as glucose stored. So you want to make sure that you get, you don't get this picture right here. Who does that remind you of? Steve. It's Steve. It's Steve. Hangry. What is hangry? The definition of hangry. You don't ever want to see me hangry. Yeah. You're angry because you're hungry and you think I'm just angry. Well, your body's saying feed me. Your body's hungry. It needs food. So a feeling of anger due to hunger, sometimes we choose to ignore the signal and we wait too long and to feed our empty stomachs. And you know, I don't know if you've done this before, but the feeling kind of passes. Not the hangry feeling, but the hunger feeling kind of passes after a while because your body goes into that little storage thing. But don't let, your body still needs to be fed, and it needs to be fed with nutrients, good nutrients. Okay, there's a mind-stomach connection where I want to start today. There's a connection between the hunger, feeling angry, and having low blood sugar. So when we have our blood sugar tested and you come back and you say, what does this number mean? Well, that number means that your body is distributing the glucose correctly, or it's not. There's too much in your blood, or there's not enough in your blood. So when your blood glucose is dropping, there's not enough glucose or sugar in your blood. You feel terrible, and once that happens, you know, I get a headache and get shaky. People have different reactions. Some people have like a tingling feeling. But your body releases a lot of different hormones. So once that happens, you're kind of setting yourself up for failure because your body's going to release some of the hormones that are going to make it even harder to release that stored fat. So you want to make sure you have consistent meal times. Now, with that being said, I understand now it's very popular. There's a very popular thing going around called intermittent fasting. And there's a place for that, I'm sure, but for the majority of people, and especially if someone is dealing with diabetes or pre-diabetes, you need to talk to your doctor about that before you do that. what I'm talking about is a good healthy regimen of keeping that blood glucose level. So we'll save that for a different topic, okay? So the mind-body connection is very important. First things first, are you eating lunch? Is everybody eating lunch?
Sometimes.
I see.
How busy you are.
Maybe. All right. It's very important to eat lunch midday because you're going to get to that slump, and then you're going to go 2 o'clock. I'm so tired. I need a cup of coffee. 3 o'clock. I need a cup of coffee. And what really your body might need is fuel, food, just food. So if you're eating your lunch, are you packing or are you eating out? And I'm going to tell you why I asked that question. Your body's saying feed me, but you want to feed with calories that have nutrients. So you can see all this stuff I have on the table. No empty calories, and I'll talk more about that. So when you pack your lunch, it's very important to make sure you're packing with good ingredients. So what's very common right now is something called fatty liver. I don't know if any of y'all have heard of that. There are 2 kinds of fatty liver that's caused by too much alcohol, and there's one that's called non-alcoholic induced fatty liver. More and more people in the United States are getting diagnosed with that. Does anybody know what causes that? Eating too many fast foods, prepared foods, foods with preservatives, foods that have a lot of artificial stuff that your liver, listen, liver, okay, liver. What's the first 4 letters? Live. So your liver helps you to live, and it's a big job getting all the toxins out of your body. So if it has to work double hard because you're eating food that it has to, cleanse throughout your body, then you're putting too much work on your liver. Your liver's made to do those things, but we put too much of a load on it sometimes by the foods that we choose to eat. Now when I say fast foods, you know what I mean. You know what I'm talking about. Fast food restaurants, what's their #1 goal in life? Is it to make you healthy?
Sell your food.
Sell your food. It's to make money. Yeah, they're going to give you the cheapest that they can buy in bulk and serve to you. So keep that in mind. I'm not saying never. I'm just saying it needs to be a moderation and not the rule. And so many reasons for that, but one is exactly what we're talking about. Foods to avoid, and I don't even like the word avoid, so I'm going to say foods in moderation. I don't know why I put avoid there. I shouldn't have put that, but I did. I have a few little typos in here. Alcohol is a major cause of fatty liver disease as well as other liver diseases, so if you do, it would be moderation would be the key on that, or not at all. Added sugars. Now let's talk about added sugars. Added sugars mean I pick up this Laura bar and I read the ingredients, and I'll read them to you. Dates, cashews, almonds, unsweetened coconut, lime juice, and lime juice concentrate. So there's no added sugar. Now, do dates have sugar? Yeah, they're fruit. It's fruit sugar, but there's no added sugar, which is very important. Do bananas? Yes. Do grapes? Yes. This yogurt? All right, so look at this yogurt. The reason I bought this was because I wanted to show you guys how you can, if you eat yogurt, get the kind that's not sweetened. You sweeten it. You use this, half of that, or a tablespoon of that to sweeten it. They put way too much sugar. And let me back up. Fast foods. Okay, so once again, they want to get you addicted to fast foods, so they put a lot of sodium, that's salt, a lot of artificial flavors and colors and things in there because it excites your, bless you, it gives you a cold. No, it excites your taste buds. So once you just come to my house and eat dinner, you'll think, she doesn't salt anything, or that tastes really bland, because your taste buds have been trained for that excitement that comes from the fast foods. So they're not stupid, just like the tobacco company. They're not stupid. They put things in there to make us want that or crave that. So as you start coming off of fast foods or some of the processed foods, this food might taste a little bland, but I'll say my food tastes pretty good today, if I have to say so myself. So you should be okay. Fried foods, we know about, we try to limit, especially you guys, if some people are keeping their daily calendars of their diary, food diary, fried foods is one that we want to minimize. Now when I say that, if you're going to saute something in olive oil, that's a whole different story. I'm talking about deep fried in bad oil, okay? Crisco.
Wow.
I don't even know if Crisco's still around. Is it? Okay. Salt, eating too much salt. So less than 1,500 milligrams a day, that's not a lot of salt. That's not a lot of sodium. So kind of look at what you're eating, read the labels, and see how much salt is in what you're eating. Okay, so white bread, rice, and pasta. White means the flour is highly processed. So when you go to a field and you see wheat, what color is the wheat? It's amber color. It's not white. So they refine it, they process it, they bleach it, because it's the eye that we eat with, and it comes to us with not that many vitamins left in it, and no fiber. So that's why I'm always harping, choose whole grain, whole grain, whole grain. If you're gonna eat breads and pastas, whole wheat, whole grain, to be the first ingredient, because they have the fiber in them, which slows down now. And you know this too, Brian, this, you're gonna eat this, it's also it's a carb, okay? So you need to limit your carbs, but this is whole grain, so it is absorbed slower in your bloodstream than a piece of white bread. So it's in the fiber, which fiber, I think I've mentioned, helps carry off the cholesterol in your body. So always choose whole grain, that's the first ingredient in those. And red meat, you know, there's some people that's controversial about. It's saturated. The thing I want you to know about the red meat, and not all red meat, I think grass-fed beef, you know, is great. It has a lot of good omegas in it. But the packaged meats, what I want to talk about just a minute. Okay, so what you'll find on your pita bread is this turkey that I found at Kroger. Oops, can I say Kroger? Yeah. Well, Food City, everybody has it, okay, every grocery store. But in particular, this says no nitrates. So no nitrates. Nitrates are a known carcinogen. A carcinogen is cancer causing. It's a known carcinogen. There's no guessing about it. So when you use processed turkey, and I know we can't always go out, kill a turkey, bring it in, cook it, and it'd be great. So look for no nitrate. This says no artificial colors. Sometimes they color it with caramel. No artificial flavors, no artificial preservatives, no gluten, and no nitrates. And so Hormel does that now. There's a lot of, this was just the cheapest. So this was $2.99, and it had, I did almost all the pitas with that. So cheap, okay? Any questions? Okay, good. Don't want any questions, just kidding. All right, packing a healthy lunch. All right, so how to pack a healthy lunch. First of all, you gotta plan ahead. If you get up that morning and go, oh my gosh, I'm gonna open the refrigerator, there's nothing in here healthy, because there's usually not. You gotta plan ahead. Go to the grocery store, get the stuff in there, be ready. I usually pack mine, well, I have time in the mornings, but if you don't, do it the night before. The key thing, and this is, y'all gonna thank me for this is something that everybody wants to know. You ready? You gotta have containers! All right, so I went yesterday and bought this container. It has a lid. The lid is in there in the kitchen. And you put your lunch in here, and you put the lid on, and you stick it in the fridge, and boom. It doesn't have to be glass. I prefer glass, but there's plastic out there that's BPA free. There's also containers like this that have dividers in it if you don't want your food touching. So it's easy. It's very easy. Go buy some containers. That's the biggest thing. Storage containers, and set aside extra time, because it takes time. But it's a lot. Sometimes you sit in a car line for a little while to get your lunch as well. So time that out and see how long it takes you to pack your lunch. All right, taking a healthy lunch to work is one of the simplest ways to trim your budget. So when you pack your lunch, you can pack your lunch for, actually, I think this is like $1, $1.50. Maybe $2 at the most. Most people spend $8 to $10 at a restaurant. Even a fast food, you're going to spend $6 to $8 if you get something to drink. I don't know. I don't eat at the Arches. Does somebody know what's a lunch there if you get a burger, fries, and a drink?
Where?
$10. $10 like McDonald's or Hardee's or.
I eat turkey yesterday, cost me $11.
See. You know, hold back on that one. You ain't there yesterday.
Let's hold back on.
That's okay, Word.
You eat 2 meals,
Well, just be honest. It's okay. All right, so $11.
Lunch at 10, still eating at 1.
$11 versus $1.50 to $2. Okay, so that you can see how if you're worried about the budget, this is much more budget friendly, especially if you eat out every day at lunch. So what makes up a healthy lunch? So first of all, it needs to be balanced. So I'm gonna cut these in two and let everybody try one. So these are pita pockets. These were like $2.49, and there's 8 of them in there. Okay, so what I did is I took a pita pocket and, hang on. I didn't mean to get honey mustard, but I did get honey mustard, so this does have a little sugar in it, but regular mustard or spicy mustard does not, and it has, this has 10 calories for a teaspoon, so much better than mayonnaise, or you could do olive oil, but anyway, so I took a pita, put a little bit of mustard in there, stuffed in the turkey, stuffed in carrots, tomatoes, and a little bit of cheese, and the cheese I chose, and I don't have my wrapper, was mozzarella, because it's a little bit lower in fat than the other cheeses, and it's, you know, it's fairly cheap, depends on what brand you get. So that's what's in these pitas. Now what I did with the roll-ups, these are the roll-ups, I think they were $2.50, so flat, they're called flat-out roll-ups. These are light, you don't have to get the light, I know you know, you'd eat. So I took those, I rolled them out, I put hummus, I feel like Vanna White, hummus, okay, instead of mayonnaise.
What is hummus?
Hummus are chickpeas, smashed up with a little bit of tahini sauce. Y'all can try this. Yesterday everybody just wanted to try this, so I mean if you just want to like dip something in there, like a piece of bread, you can do that.
I've never tried hummus because I don't like the way the word sounds.
Hummus. Well, I mean it does have a little garlic in it too, so it's a little spicy. And then on some of these on the end, I put guacamole. This is 95% avocado. So instead of using, and I did put a little mustard on there, but instead of using mayonnaise, I used hummus and guac, carrots, tomatoes, same thing that's on that. So let's talk about a balanced lunch. So you have a pita, so you have your carbs, you have your lean protein, turkey, healthy fats, avocado or nuts. Let's see, where are the nuts? Nuts. So you pack your lunch, you have that, put some of these in a baggie, and complex carbs would be the bread, the whole grain bread, and it's balanced. Fiber, you get a ton of fiber from the veggies, and then these are just other examples of a healthy lunch. I wasn't gonna fix all these, but you could put tuna in there, you could put eggs in there, you could put rotisserie chicken, get a rotisserie chicken, that'll last you 2 or 3 days, pull some of that off, stuff it in there. Listen, this is the best time of the year to eat healthy. Everything's coming in. I mean, all the veggies and stuff, cheap, cheap, cheap. Some people like, does anybody see my typo? You can put opinions in there. Yeah, instead of onions. You can put opinions in those pita pockets. But you can put greens, you can make a salad, stick it in there. It's just, the options are endless depending on what you like. So if you did a pita pocket, some nuts, grapes, done. That's your lunch. These are apples with peanut butter and raisins on top. That mixed with the sandwich and some nuts, done. Now I did bring some squash, and I meant to slice this up and saute it for you, but that didn't happen. But if you want to just slice the squash, I don't know if anybody likes it without being cooked, but that's also something else you can put down in the pocket or eat it, you know, by itself. All right, any questions on any of this? Okay. So examples of a healthy lunch. Now here's one of these containers that has I couldn't find one with the divider, but I was just looking at the grocery store. I think TJ Maxx or Target's has these, which is really nice because you can put your veggies over there, and this is like the night before, what you had for dinner. Stick it in the container and bring it to work. Stick it in the fridge. You all have a fridge here. You can stick it in here. You got a microwave, a kitchen. So just, you know, that's a great way to do it. Here's some other really good things. If you think, well, I don't want your pita pocket, well then maybe a peanut butter banana on a whole wheat bread sandwich with some yogurt or some fruit, maybe a whole wheat tortilla wrap with sliced turkey, mozzarella, red peppers, lettuce, and some fruit, and a glass of skim milk. You know, the options are endless, but I'll say you got to plan ahead or this doesn't work. There's some other pita filled with grilled chicken strips. You can buy those already done. You don't even have to grill them. I'd prefer just to grill a bunch, you know, like on Sunday and have them ready for the rest of the week. This one is interesting. I actually added that one because I'm like infatuated with sweet potatoes. So if I come in one day and I'm orange, you'll know. Sweet potato, baked sweet potato, they're cheap, cheap, cheap. They're 89 cents a pound right now. So put it in the, I mean, you could even cook it here, but I put it in the oven, cook it, add some grilled chicken or a salad, and that's really, really a healthy way to eat. There's a couple of restaurants who are doing better, not, I don't know one right around here, but you can get a sweet potato with Asiago cheese and sauteed spinach, and it's delicious. But you could do that yourself at home. But sweet potatoes, really, really good option. Tomato cucumber salad, whatever you've had the night before. You just gotta be creative. You know, be creative, think healthy, think balanced. Yes? What?
Honestly, whatever you had the night before, that'd be a Whopper.
Oh!
We had salmon and broccoli last night.
Thank you, yes. But
Is that before the Whopper or after?
it was with the Whopper.
Yeah.
Do they still make Whoppers?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So
Take my double
I'm
Whopper.
sorry that you guys know that question. But anyway, as you see all this that I have laid out, I wanted you to see that this was very minimal and price-wise. And I have fed 20, let's see, yesterday we had at least 20 on Tuesday, and then however many we have today, we'll feed with what these ingredients that I bought. So you can do this, you can eat very healthy on a budget. It just requires a little bit of thinking ahead. The other thing I would mention, how to eat healthy and save money, is to buy what's in season. Now the apples weren't in season, but I just like the way they looked. But they were a little expensive this time of year. So fall, more for your apples, but grapes were good now. Strawberries are $2.99 right now. So the berries are all coming in now. Those are cheap. Squash, big time cheap. Tomatoes will be coming in. The lettuce, everything right now is a great time. Now in the winter, when it's a little bit harder to get things that are in season, you got to think about frozen. You got to think about buying some frozen stuff. You got to watch the canned stuff because sometimes it has too much salt in it. So read the label. The one thing I can stress to you guys is read the label. Just start reading labels. You'll be surprised. I grabbed these just because on the go, this pack of almonds was $3.99 and there's 7 packs in here. So that would be a good thing to complement your lunch or put in your car for when you're hungry and you need something to eat quick. So this would be a quick snack. And you know, there were like 4 different kinds. These were whole and natural. They don't have any sugar on them. They don't have anything. They're just almonds. So read the label. Almonds, peanut free. Does anybody have a nut allergy? I should have asked that before I brought the peanut butter in here. But so you got to start looking, and you got to start being aware of what's out there. It's intentional to be well. It's intentional to be healthy, and it's not to say we're never going to get sick. Of course, we all will. We'll all go through stuff. But let's do our best, do our part, you know, to keep ourselves healthy and well, and that requires fueling with good whole foods. The closer the foods are to nature, the way God made them, the better it's going to be for you. The more processed, I had somebody tell me in Chilhowie the other day that, Tom Hill, said they did an experiment at the high school, and they got a Happy Meal, not to bust just on one restaurant, but they got a Happy Meal, and they left it in the,
Case.
for a year, and it didn't mold. A year, and it did not mold. And I've heard that about Twinkie. I've heard you can leave a Twinkie out for like ever, and it never rots or gets old. So you leave these tomatoes out, or you leave any of this, I'll tell you this right now, you leave these out without being refrigerated for a couple days and they start growing mold. So you know it doesn't have all the stuff in it that we're ingesting, that our bodies aren't meant to have in them. And it just causes havoc with our immune systems. So we want to pick the things that are closest to nature and that don't have all the preservatives. So my ending thought is read the labels, know what you're putting in your body, and making the healthy choices by planning ahead, packing your lunch instead of waiting until the last minute to go through the drive-through. I mean, there are some healthier options now at the fast foods. You just got to choose them. You got to make sure you choose them. But anyway, so that's kind of what I wanted to go over with you guys today. Any questions or comments before we taste? Any comments, questions? Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to half these, and you all can get a plate and just get whatever you want. If you want to taste the hummus, just put some out. I've got some forks over there. And anybody want to try the yogurt, you're welcome to that. I've got tongs for the grapes. So just help yourself, and there's some water over there, and we'll sit and chat. Is that